So it looks like we may have some of our first official information about Nintendo's new hardware. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Now there's been a lot of rumors floating around about Nintendo's next system. We've heard rumors about how it's been internally delayed until possibly March of next year. And while nothing's been confirmed about this, we have had several different outlets report it, so it seems to be pretty reliable. Now this comes to us from the Spanish website Vandal, and if you're not familiar with them, they did accurately report back in 2021 about some of the features of the new Switch OLED model. Things such as how the kickstand used the entire back of the system, sort of like the Surface Pro does, and how the dock would include USB 3.0. Well, they have a new report about the Switch 2, I guess we're still calling it, and you can see the translated headline here, Exclusive Switch 2, we get the scoop on new leaked details of the next Nintendo console. And in their report, they say they have someone who's actually been able to touch the new Nintendo console. And the first bit of information here is that the system is larger than the current Switch, which we've already heard those reports now for several months, so I tend to believe that's correct. But the second report here is something I've heard some rumblings about, but no one just flat out saying it in any report. And I'll read the translated paragraph here. I'm going to kind of paraphrase this because Google Translate doesn't do it justice, but here we go. It has also been learned that Nintendo could have opted to maintain the Switch Joy-Con, but with a fundamental change in its design. Instead of the rails of the current console, the new Switch 2 controllers would join the screen magnetically. So there have been some reports that the new Switch 2 would use some type of magnetic mechanism in order to join the Joy-Cons to the main console, and it looks like Vandal here confirms that. Now that sounds a bit weird to me because it seems like when I get mad at the game and start shaking the console that it might just pop off. So I would imagine there has to be some type of extra stability feature in there. Maybe there's some type of pegs or something that might go into the console from the Joy-Cons. So that would prevent the system from just being able to pop off if you just say bend the Joy-Con to the side. And maybe there might be some type of release mechanism there. Maybe you push some type of eject type button that might help the Joy-Cons come off easier. Because I'm thinking they're going to have to be on there pretty strong. I know sometimes I get pretty mad at Mario Kart, and if I'm losing, I kind of shake the controller and the console, and I could just see it just popping off into the floor. However, this also reminds me of a weird rumor that was out maybe about 3 or 4 months ago, and it came from this, what I would take as an AI image. Although I have to wonder if there might be some validity to this image. It looks like there's some kind of adapter that you put the current Joy-Cons in order to make those smaller Joy-Cons connect to this bigger system. Now, I don't know if this is true or not, but it seems like Nintendo could come up with some type of adapter here. And ever since I heard the reports that the next system would be larger, I pretty much knew the current Joy-Cons couldn't connect to that system as they are. And this is just me purely speculating on this adapter here. I don't know if this is true or not, but it seems like it could be used, but if that happens, then Nintendo couldn't sell more Joy-Cons. Now there's a third piece of information here. I'm going to read you the translated paragraph. This would make its full compatibility with the current Joy-Con difficult, although it is said that the Pro controller of the current Nintendo Switch would be compatible with the new console. So if you have a bunch of Pro controllers, it sounds like you'll just be able to use those with the new system. I had wondered if Nintendo might do some type of layout change for the buttons. I wouldn't expect them to go like maybe with a GameCube style button layout, but maybe just something that might make the system a little more distinct. But from this report, it sounds like Nintendo is going to play it safe and just go with your typical 4 face buttons, a D-pad, your 2 shoulders, and then your offset analog sticks. Now, they also added in that same paragraph that there's been no talks about backward compatibility for the system itself, but manufacturers believe and assume that Switch games will be playable with the Switch 2. So again, we don't have any hard confirmation about backward compatibility, but let's continue to keep our fingers crossed. Now, a fourth bit of information from here regards the release date, and we'll read the translated paragraph here. Regarding its possible release date, What the accessory manufacturers say is that Nintendo would already have the console ready to put on the market, but that they prefer to wait to put it on sale with a more powerful catalog. This would imply that we would not see the Switch 2 this year, but at the beginning of 2025, as many rumors already suggested. So again, we have sort of a confirmation here that we won't see the next Switch hardware until sometime in the beginning of next year. Now, as far as what's actually in the Switch 2 or whatever we're calling it, they do kind of touch on that here. Beyond this information that we share with you exclusively today, there are a few rumors about the Nintendo hybrid console that would use an NVIDIA chip based on the Ampere architecture of the Green Brand's RTX 30 series graphics. In addition, the Nintendo console would be compatible with the DLSS texture rescaling and smoothing system, even incorporating ray reconstruction technology that improves the quality of real-time ray tracing in video games. Another interesting detail is that it would be completely backward compatible. And this is something that we've heard already, is that the next system would use an NVIDIA chip based on that RTX 30 series graphics, and that it would include DLSS texture rescaling and some ray tracing stuff. And at least from what they say here, it looks like this entire architecture would be backward compatible with the current Switch. So that again leads us to believe that the Switch 2 will be able to play Switch games. So there's definitely a lot of information here about Nintendo's next system. I think the newest thing that we kind of have some, confirmation here is about that magnetic mechanism to connect the Joy-Cons. And this is just the first outlet to officially report this, but I imagine all throughout the day we're going to get a lot of other outlets saying, I have also heard about this. And I don't really blame them for that. A lot of times they hear things from maybe one source and it's not corroborated and they don't feel comfortable reporting it. But it seems like maybe once the first outlet reports it, all the rest of them then follow up with the things that they have confirmed. Now, there's no idea if they've all confirmed it from the same source. So again, this isn't a 100% confirmation, but it definitely looks like we're going to be having some magnetic Joy-Cons in the Switch 2. But let me know what you think. Do you think this is a good idea, a good way to connect the controllers to the system? And what other type of mechanism besides maybe some pegs might they put in there in order to give us a little bit more stability to the way those Joy-Cons connect to the system? Drop your comment below and let me know your thoughts. And if you liked the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed yet, consider doing so. It really does help the channel out quite a bit. I want to thank you for watching and be good.